Suppose you and I decide to buy a car and we say, right, we're going to buy this car in partnership. Suppose it's £10,000. I paid £5,000. You pay £5,000. We decide that we're going to be 50-50 partners in this car. So far, so good? Makes sense? Yeah? And so we go out looking for a car. We find a car. And then you say to me, you know, Salman, actually, I need a car. So why don't I rent the car from the partnership? Does that make sense? So I say, fine, that's better. Because I trust you, I know you're not going to trash the car. I actually prefer you to rent the car. So we go out, we buy the car together. So the car is 50-50, jointly owned by you and me. And you rent the car off of me. Okay? Now, of course, because you own half of it, you'll only pay rent on my half. Make sense? So if the rent is £500, each month you'll only pay me £250. Make sense? Okay, now, so I say to you, you know what? Why don't you buy my share off me? Buy it, but you can pay in installments. Because if you had the money now, you would have just bought the car yourself, right? Yeah? So you don't have the £5,000. Say, right, you can pay the £5,000 over the course of a year. So buy it off me. So you buy it off me now, so the risk passes on to you. Does that make sense? You're now the owner of that car. Even if you're not the owner on the logbook, in contract, in trust, you're the owner of the car. Does that make sense? Do I have any more ownership of the car? Right. Can I now charge you rent on the car for the rest of the year? Is anybody here who thinks it could be justified, either on Earth or on Mars, for me to charge you rent on the share of the car that I've just sold to you? It's now yours. It's your risk. You owe me money. Can I now charge you rent on my share of the car for the rest of the year? No. That's common sense. I'm sure you've already worked out that if I were to charge you rent for the rest of the year, it wouldn't be rent on the car, would it? I am actually charging you rent on the money that you owe me.